Hello, Frugal Force. Once again, this is Captain Frugal reporting for duty, and today I'm going to talk about something that just makes me scratch my head a little bit. It's because it seems like with comic books and comic book television shows and movies today, they pick and choose what reality they want to be in. Before I dive into that, I just want to let you know if you want to help the channel, if you are in a position to, one of the best ways you can do it is hit like and subscribe and hit that notifications bell because YouTube, they don't tend to like to support this channel very much, especially since I don't run ads. I refuse to run ads on this channel because I don't like their policies. So if you want to help me out in other ways and circumvent that because they don't like to share my videos as much, I do have a Patreon that you can join for as little as $1 a month. We did just add a $2 tier between that and the $5 tier. So in case you want to, and you're finding yourself in a position to help a little bit more, you can do that without breaking the bank. Another thing too is if you want just a one-time donation to help the channel, we have a Streamlabs link also because not everybody's into Patreon. So we have a Streamlabs OBS link. You can click on that and do a one-time donation as well. Or even if you want some merch, we have some Captain Frugal merch that you can click on in the Redbubble. We have mugs and things. I put it down, I believe, to the lowest prices possible. But you could have a Captain Frugal mug or a clock or whatever, or a shirt, whatever floats your boat. All right, those are just great ways to help support the channel. I will say all these subscribers and everybody that have been doing it, we greatly appreciate it. You've allowed us to do these certain things that we've been doing. Also, just as an update, I have added ability now to do live streams again since that last debacle last time, so we can get that taken care of. With that out of the way, let's jump into this. Why Batwoman was always going to wear boots on the new CW show to be more realistic by Kristen Current. Notice this is from Insider there. I love that, to be more realistic, because yes, that's why people read comic books and watch TV shows about superheroes and movies, because we want realism. You know, I want you to think about that for a moment. And I'm going to say, you know, I'm not going to judge the show yet because I haven't seen it, so I don't want to do that. Though I do have some some fears based on what we've seen with things like Supergirl and things like that. You know, it's just, oh boy, the costume looks pretty cool here. I'm going to give her that. And so anyway, it says Batwoman is the newest DC heroine to join the CW's Arrowverse, which, remember, Arrow is only having one season left with 10 episodes. So this is joining the lineup in this fall. Introduced on last year's Elseworlds crossover event, Bruce Wayne's cousin Kate Kane, played by Ruby Rose, takes on the mantle of the iconic cape and cowl. When she goes after some of Gotham's biggest foes, expect to see Batwoman in functional footwear. We were like, realistically, we need it to not have a heel. Okay. So anyway, it says, in quotes, "It was really important for all of us," Dries added. "There's a little bit of a heel, maybe an inch. That's a flat heel. I guess you'd still call that a heel, but it's not a stiletto or something. It's more like a biker boot." You know, and I don't have necessarily anything against that, just for the record, okay? I think this is a pretty good for a TV outfit. Pretty well looking so far. It says, in recent years, there's been a shift from seeing female superheroes and anti-heroes wear uncomfortable, unrealistic heels while fighting crime to more practical footwear. Now, here's where it starts getting funny. Once again, they're talking about practical and real constantly, but this is a superhero show. What about superheroes is really practical and real? Let's be honest here. It's hypocritical, and it's pick and choose when you want to follow that, because let's be realistic here. How many guys do you see running around in spandex or some kind of chainmail armor? You know, how realistic is that? How realistic are these huge boots that they're running around in and the constant skin-tight clothes that males are running around in? But they don't care about all that. They ignore all that. But they always talk about the females and how they're depicted. I'm sorry, but guys have just as much skin-tight wear in unrealistic clothing as well. But why is that not a problem to these people? Iterations of DC's Catwoman on screen, from Michelle Pfeiffer to Anne Hathaway's portrayal in The Dark Knight Rises, wore shoes with very thin heels. Gal Gadot's first Wonder Woman costume for Batman vs. Superman showed her in impractical heeled sandals. Yes, impractical. Once again, we're talking a superhero. Them jumping off of buildings, getting pummeled and getting right back up and being okay. That's perfectly fine. That's not unrealistic to them. Dodging bullets, being able to catch arrows. Once again, they tend to pick and choose. So when they use this practical argument, it really doesn't hold any water. How in any world way on earth is the show practical to begin with? It doesn't make sense. People sometimes have to realize, in for a penny, in for a pound. When we come to comic books, you have to, go beyond belief. The science they create is just ridiculous. It says fans have applauded the more sensible footwear with past heroines, including Brie Larson's Captain Marvel and Bryce Dallas Howard's Claire in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. During a scene in Black Panther, and they go on, character ditches her heels to go barefoot after civilians. Yeah, in all realistic reality here, yeah, heels I'm sure would be a lot harder to work with and run with. But once again, a superhero show. And I don't know about you, where did fans really applaud this footwear? I didn't see it. I'll tell you one thing, as much as they want to brag about how Captain Marvel did in the theaters, there's a lot of speculation and things that was inflated. And if you look, one of the real depictions of seeing how a movie did is looking at their merchandise sales. How were the shirt sales? Pretty low. How were the toy sales? Not that great. They were on clearance in no time. So it's quite funny, and it's going to be interesting to see how the DVD and Blu-ray sales continue to go too, to see if maybe there was some inflation there. But there's a lot of money to be made there. And anyway, I went a little bit out of the way there, but still, where was the applauding here? I think that was a fictitious statement there. It says, Dries told the Insider it's not only shoe that was designed for Ruby Rose's heroine. It's not the only shoe. Oh my goodness, she's gonna have more shoes. They made Rose one version, and I think they have Nike soles inside for some cushion because the stunt people are always flying around and landing really hard. And I can understand that. Absolutely, the stunt people are gonna need a comfortable shoe, for doing that. What's cool about the shoe, I don't know if we ever feature it, but there's a little boot at the bottom of the foot, like the rubber of it. She added, ooh, who cares? When it came to designing the rest of the iconic bat suit for a woman, Rise added, they tweaked it aesthetically so Rose had a better mobility in her arms and neck. I can understand that. If you recall the original Tim Burton Batman, how Batman couldn't turn his neck, that must have made things rough, and it did make it a little awkward if you go back and watch it again in his movements, and that you do need your hero to be able to move. So I understand that from an acting standpoint. But if you noticed, the CW has been largely fixated on female costumes. If you're going to look what happens in the next version of the season of Superwoman. Believe it or not, she actually got another season, even though the ratings are dropping and continuously been dropping like a rock. They now are changing hers supposedly so she can be warm. Because it was too cold, so she could have long pants. And I don't buy that. I honestly don't buy that excuse. I think this is a political agenda. Or not, not a political, but it's a SJW agenda, and that's just their excuse for it. Because let's be honest, they're actors. They're not out there for 10 hours necessarily like that. They can sit in their chair and have something to warm her legs up or a blanket over her to keep her warm until it's her time to do that scene, and then go out there and do it. And let alone, it's a job. What job doesn't sometimes have something that's a little bit physically uncomfortable? Once again, maybe I'm wrong there. But I think it's more of agenda than what the reality they're trying to spin. So it just doesn't make sense there. So it says there, the later is constant about the mobility. Has constantly been tough with most people who played the Cape Crusader. Absolutely, as I mentioned that. So I can understand some changes. The cowl has always been tricky because Ruby has to go in and get her head molded and then fitted, just like any other actor has. She can't hear out of the cowl. She can see out of the cowl. She can't turn her head, and that's going to be interesting again there. I think it's all the problems that Christian Bale probably endured over the 3 movies. Yes, absolutely. Men endure, you ready? The same problems. It's never quite perfect. We're just slowly but surely tweaking here and there. Yeah, and they are. We'll have more for our conversation with Rise, bringing Batwoman to life. The series premieres Sunday, October 6th on the CW at 8 p.m., and I'm interested to see how it goes. As I said, I'm hoping it's not just an SJW nightmare, but it already looks like, based with the costume design, they're already heading in that direction because they're throwing out all, things about the character, about heroes that make it cool. Let's be honest, it's cool to have those high heels. There's a cool look to it. Women will probably agree with me here. Ladies, if you're watching this, let me know in the comments too. And guys, you can too. The high heel look is just a cool part of the costume. It is what it is. It's just acting. Put on the, do whatever you got to in special effects or something in post to put the high heel on if you have to for the action stunts and things like that. But once again, I'm not a big care about the high heel anyway. As long as the costume looks cool, I'm okay with it. But what gets me once again is how they twist some of the truth there. And it might not be this case. Once again, high heels, who really cares? I hope they do make it so she can turn her head though. And I don't think it actually is that hard to make them be able to hear. There's ways to do that. I don't know why they're struggling with that. I mean, I can hear her just fine with my Captain America mask. Of course, my ears are cut out and exposed there. So I want to know what your thoughts are. Is this just another sign, the boots and the high heels being gone to be more realistic? Is this just another excuse for the SJW agenda to push on, to continue to make that? I mean, there's no boob window on this, for crying out loud, right? Or is this a sensible situation for the show? And do you even care? As I said, I don't personally care. I just thought this was interesting. I was putting up another video about a women-featured comic book, Birds of Prey with Chuck Dixon, and I happened to see this article show up in my feed, and I was like, oh, you know what? This might be something good just to have a fun little chat about. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, keep it frugal. Thanks for sticking with me through this. If you don't mind and you enjoy videos like this, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe, and even bigger, hit that notifications bell, because evidently that means a lot. Also, if you find yourself in the position that you can help the channel and you want to, you say, hey, I like this stuff. If you don't mind, go down to the info bar down below. We have a link for our Patreon, which you can join our Patreon for as little as $1 a month, which gets you special posts that are only for the patrons. So sometimes I do Frugal Force videos that are patron only, or special versions of videos. I also do random Frugal Force giveaways where I just take a random person out there with a random number generator. It selects who it is, and I send them stuff, whether it be games or comic books or both, whoever knows. And sometimes I even just ask you guys questions or shoot up a message, and I greatly appreciate you checking those out. Also, if you find that maybe that's not for you, you don't like Patreon, we have it in the info bar as well, a Streamlabs link there where you can click on that and just give a one-time donation, and that helps the channel. All those proceeds are going right back into the channel to help Little Frugal and I and his sister, the American Dream, my wonderful little girl, and our family continue to have fun doing this and sharing this with you. All right, thank you very much. Thank you, subscribers. Thank you for all the ones who have stuck it out with me this long, and all the new ones that have joined on too. Thank you. We greatly appreciate it. And don't be afraid to leave a message in the comments section too. We love to read them. All right, thanks, and until next time, keep it frugal.